There are so many distractions, so many things vying for your attention every single day. And if you get caught and if your focus goes to that thing that's calling out for your attention, I think that it's important for the recovery time to become quicker and quicker as we get involved in something, to be able to pull away and to check in again with yourself and your personal experience, just you and the now here. It is important to tune into who you really are. I think that there is this point where people undergoing a lot of inner turmoil or static, and things just aren't settling the same way as they used to. For so long, so many of us have been on this conveyor belt of protocol of how to live and how to experience, that our experience actually isn't important, that it's more important to appease, it's more important to just get the job done, put your head down, never let them see you sweat or cry. We have to become more real than we ever have been before, and to stop denying that things just aren't working for us anymore, or we're going to crack. People feeling like no longer can they put up with the way they're acting, with the way our minds have been programmed, and when they're left on autopilot, what it's telling us, it's time to change the way things are programmed. This is about our experience. Tune more into our experience as a piece of nature. How does it feel? How do you feel? Like, okay, so like right now, I feel calm. And if I was starting to feel anxious, it's important to catch it as soon as possible and not try to grin and bear it anymore. To breathe, to pull oxygen into your lungs, into your blood, and nurture yourself and your nervous system. There is less bandwidth available within each of us for tolerating stress. The stress that we've been tolerating and being pushed toward for a very long time isn't healthy. And there is a radical ask for us to get really healthy within ourselves. Really, really healthy and very familiar with how it is we are feeling, and to become comfortable with feeling comfortable. With more checking in and with more tuning in to how you're actually feeling, not only emotionally but physically, the sensations, tuning into that and taking from that experience as fuel rather than relying on some outer experience to feed you. So like, for instance, if you're feeling sad, you want to zone out and watch a show. How about if you're feeling sad, you don't turn anything on? No distractions. Just be. Just be with yourself. The suppression of sadness and stress can no longer work. It's not healthy. We need to be able to hold experiences, to feel, to really feel and receive the love and the light and the energy in this atmosphere around us. It's important to be able to process better and to manage better, to tune in, to feeling calm and nourished with exactly what's around you in the moment, and not bypassing anything. Checking your levels, how often do you check your phone to see how much battery you have left? How often do you check your social media to see if you got any boost? What about checking in with yourself to see how much battery do you have left? Are you feeling good? Oh, you're feeling good? Feel it. Allow yourself to integrate and absorb that more. Take out more distractions so you have time to sit with those beautiful, nourishing feelings that you're having. If you're taking time to nourish yourself with a meal and you feel good about what you're eating, your integrity is high, cherish that and feel and absorb all of that. That is so powerful. I think that it's important to begin calibrating your system to become more comfortable with being comfortable with knowing how you are feeling and processing, knowing when you're uncomfortable, taking yourself out of that situation, to no longer tolerate being fed toxic ingredients in your music, in your screen time, whether you're watching a show, a movie, watching an advertisement, reading what someone's writing, reading the news, watching the news. What are you eating? Who are you talking to? What situations are you putting yourself in physically? No longer tolerate things that are bringing you down, that are lowering your energy level, taking from you, depleting from you. This is a time to get familiar with discernment. What sits well with you and what doesn't. For a long time, we've been trained to be very comfortable with being afraid and becoming complacent about the things that are causing the fear because it's so standard. There's a need to raise up your love, your capacity to feel harmony, your capacity to be comfortable, to raise up those that bandwidth for that sort of energy, and to hold it, to be a container that can hold beauty and emit love and health and encouragement. There are a lot of containers holding only stress, fear, sadness, suffering, and no longer does that work for us. Our hearts are being called to open, and our integrity is being called forward. We have to get ourselves to a place of healing and transcending, and healing and shedding and letting all of the suppressed emotion and suffering that's been there while we've been putting our heads down. We have to reconcile with that now. It's time to start, if you haven't already started, to take more time to end distractions, to tune into yourself, to feel, to allow the pain and the emotions to bubble up to the surface. It doesn't all happen at once, but to keep yourself in a state of awareness so that as you're going throughout your day and evening, if you feel a percolation of an emotion, you do what you have to do to let it out, because these things actually do stay in your body, and we're being encouraged to change what's in our bodies so that what we're being invited to experience and what's available can actually stay with us, and we can truly benefit from it. But there's a process that needs to happen to get to that point of receptivity. It could take a really long time, and it can be painful to go through all of these things and emotions that you had been suppressing and understandably afraid of facing. It's not only your story, like what happened to you, what you blocked out because it was too traumatic. It's also other people's pain that you've witnessed. It's also things that you've ignored. You know, it's time to forgive yourself, to have compassion for how things have unfolded up until now, and to take where you are and your awareness now and give yourself some credit for the work that you are choosing to embark upon. Because there's something more going on here than waking up and going to work and making sure your family's needs are being met and then going to sleep, doing it all over again. There's something more available. And if you want to take the opportunity to experience that, I have to tell you that things open up door after door after door of process and realization and integration. More and more and more becomes very powerful and beautiful and a gift. It's a gift, and I think we're all being called to get familiar with the gifts that we're given and to forgive ourselves for taking it all for granted before, but to understand that it's an honor to receive. This experience of life can be rich and beneficial. So the last thing I wrote was like how important it is, I feel, to not keep yourself in a loop of stewing in negative emotions. It's becoming more apparent that that is a sickness, and that is inducing yourself with a disease, dis-ease, to keep yourself in worry, to keep yourself in fear, to keep yourself in stress, jealousy, hatred, envy, disturbance, discomfort, you know, those loops that you're keeping yourself inside your head, or if you're keeping yourself in fear by keeping the television on, or if you are keeping yourself feeling an undercurrent of anxiety because of the driving music that you're listening to, or the ads, or just the incessant amount of distraction that there is on social media, the millions of bits of information flying at you. How are you able to tell how it's all actually making you feel if you're not taking time out after each unique stimulus to see how that sits with you? How are you ever going to catch up with yourself? So more and more and more that you can, the more and more and more that you can limit as much as possible. Paying attention, you're paying you're paying with your energy, and with all of the fear and the stress and the news and the entertainment and, you know, our bank accounts are depleted. We have to learn how to hold better things inside of us, inside of our minds. You have to train yourself to have harmonious thoughts. You have to work on letting things go for the betterment of your well-being. You have to be okay with silence. There's a lot inside of you that is and has been pushed down for so long that with periods of silence and no distraction will start to lift and come up to the surface. That needs to be done to clean out and learn how to hold more harmony, comfort, care. So I've said so much, and I'd love to hear what you have to say, and hopefully together we can all learn how to navigate into this new territory. There's a lot of permission being given to each one of us to be able to overcome suffering and hold more beauty, and to actually have a really powerfully beautiful experience here, not only for ourselves, but for the actual experience itself, to bring that into creation, to bring that capability here, to land it here. That's what it is, to strengthen the field, to make it possible. And it's beautiful to have each other's support. And I will see you next video.